What's more despairing than life? Check out this story. This guy's hilarious. She told him bluntly it was her affair, and he regretted not taking responsibility sooner. Unbeknownst to him, she never planned to tell him, as she didn't need a heroic dad for the child. Her words left the man speechless and even ashamed to look at her again. She wanted to say more, but all she could think was, please just stay away. With that, she left without a second glance, and the gloomy guy went to the bar to drown his sorrows. But without cash, the bouncer tossed him out. Listening to the constant jabs from others, he just laughed at himself, clueless about where to go next. While passing an unlocked car, he couldn't resist checking for valuables. With no one around, he sneakily climbed into the car, planning to snag something shiny, only to be caught by 2 cops across the street. So he ended up in jail for theft and needed to cough up $1,000 to bail himself out. Reluctantly, he called his mom. Turns out, Mom didn't hold back and hung up on him. Everyone is just done with him. But at the end of the day, she's still his mom, so she bailed him out, and he was free in no time. He got home and crashed immediately, as if to continue his dark street adventure. Just then, Mom walked in, tossed him an envelope, and it turns out she wanted to cut ties, done cleaning up his mess. She told him to be out by 7 p.m, and while staring at a stack of cash in the envelope, he wanted to talk, but she was already out the door. She angrily turned away, making him realize how his ridiculous actions had disappointed those closest to him. The man's name is Danny. A few months of slacking off later, it was finally the day of the child's incident. Danny snuck into the hospital to check on the doctor and found out mother and baby were due. He quietly approached the nursery, and watching the little squiggle inside filled him with an indescribable sense of responsibility. From that moment, he decided to turn his life around. Because his daughter needed him as a protector, he held onto the painstakingly crafted resume and showed up at a firefighter training facility. Danny wanted to escape the Knight of Virtue title, so he needed to find a place of value and meaning. This was where his new journey began. But his sickly appearance made it obvious he had a history as a junkie. A guy named Rand stepped up, trying to politely shoo him away. Danny knew getting in here wouldn't be a walk in the park, but with a let's give it a shot attitude, he said a few words to Ryan, who brushed him off completely. At that moment, Captain Mark called him over, claiming there were openings and asking if he wanted to interview. Danny wasn't going to pass that up. The other team members looked puzzled as to why Mark would let a former junkie interview. Maybe the captain had his own reasons. Once in the office, Mark cut to the chase and asked Danny when was the last time he got high. Danny didn't hide anything and said he had been clean for 3 months. After checking his resume, Mark realized Danny had actually studied firefighting. He couldn't fathom why the young man went astray. After pondering, Mark asked Danny about his desire to change, and was surprised by his response. This made Mark decide to give Danny a shot, since they were about to start climbing training. Mark told the team to find Danny some shoes, saying if he could keep up, he'd pass the interview. Soon after, the tense hiking training began, and Danny felt completely out of place among the seasoned firefighters. Considering he was a junkie for years, he barely ran for a bit before he was hurling, putting more space between him and everyone else. Seeing this, Vice Captain Jesse walked over to Mark and asked if they were really hiring a Knight of Virtue, especially with the upcoming evaluation. Danny's presence might hold them back, but Mark just gave a slight smile and said nothing more. However, that thought was quickly challenged when the team, while running uphill, crossed paths with Danny trying to make his way up. Seeing the gap, the team zipped past him in silence, leaving him dumbfounded. Minutes ticked by until evening, and as Danny's absence continued, Mark assumed he couldn't take it and had probably bailed. Just as they were about to give up, Danny's figure suddenly appeared. Clearly, he had pushed through. When he got to Mark, he pulled out the photo he took at the summit, proving he wasn't slacking off, and Mark kept his word, letting Danny join the team. Seems like he had a good eye, as Jesse handed Danny a bottle of water, signaling they welcomed him aboard. Danny guzzled down the entire bottle, and Jesse reminded him to rest up for the bigger challenges ahead. But instead of heading home straight away, Danny went to the supermarket to grab some groceries. Then he snuck over to his ex-girlfriend's place, quietly placing the bags at her doorstep before slipping away unnoticed. He resolved to protect them quietly, no matter how tough the future might be. Eventually, Danny successfully joined the fire department. During extensive fire training, he was holding on and hanging tough, needing to grasp all fire line setups as a newbie. Mark would frequently pop quizzes on him, keeping Danny always on edge, and a mistake would lead to some serious punishment. Newbies are frequently quizzed, but Danny couldn't answer Mark's question about the 11th fire rule. This earned the captain's fury because those rules were lessons learned from life and death situations. Naturally, the team had some complaints, and Ryan expressed his dissatisfaction, saying Danny was holding them back. But Ryan had no filter and even brought up Danny's girlfriend, questioning whether the kid was really his. Hearing that, Danny was fuming and decided it was time to teach this disrespectful guy a lesson. But as he raised his fist, he hesitated, knowing this rare opportunity would vanish if he fought back.